Hey guys, I'm here with a new concept that's support and resistance. This is one of the basic concept and this is the concept where all traders ends up using. There's just two things in this concept. You have supply zone and demand zone. So what's supply zone? You can also call it as resistance. This is where people are shorting, people are sending the stock below. And what's demand zone? Here is where people are trying to buy. There's a lot of bullish candles seen. Okay, so there are two things. One is resistance and support. Okay, as you can see here, where the candles are rejected in the resistance and is followed down and it's going up from the demand zone. That is where people feel that okay, this price is too low and let me buy and make some profit. That is where you call it as demand zone or supply zone. And you can also think on a resistance. This the trading works on probabilities and how the psychology of traders think. Okay, so if you think about resistance, what is this? What is resistance? Is okay if the Tata is running with a share of 137 and it goes up to 140 and people feel that oh, this price is too high, I will start shorting it now. That is when you start finding resistance. You find resistance from many concepts like Fibonacci levels. There are lots of things you can find resistance and support. So you have lot many patterns in support and resistance, where you have wedge pattern, you have triangle pattern, you have parallel pattern. So I will explain few concepts, but you do not have to concentrate on all the patterns or by heart all the patterns. If you learn how to draw trend lines, support, resistance, it's enough. Okay, this is the main concept behind support and resistance. What happens in support and resistance is once when the support is broken out or is crossed, it becomes new resistance. When the resistance is broken out, it becomes the new support. You can see here where the prices are dangling between two two zone, that is support and resistance. Once you find that the price is broken out, broken from the resistance, you see that the price becomes support where it was the previous resistance. This happens with support as well. So when the support is broken, it acts as a resistance. I will be showing how this works on the chart analysis. From support and resistance, you can assume with the trend lines. You can draw trend lines by using the line which is found in TradeView, where you can identify downtrend or an uptrend. So basically, if you see that in a downtrend you find many resistance, okay, and in an uptrend you find many supports. So if the line is in an uptrend, you start finding many supports. That is where you start finding the prices going higher and higher, and you find many people buying at that position. Same happens with downtrend, with considering resistance as a main point. Okay, there's one concept called higher high and higher low. I have marked 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the same concept I explained with supply and resistance, supply and demand zone, where this concept where support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support. That is how the higher high and higher low concept works. When at the position 1. The position 1 is where the resistance is found, and then the prices are moved downwards, and then when it crosses, it goes to certain high, and obviously you know it cannot keep moving up. It will come down. Where will it stop? Where will it stop is it stops at the previous resistance found. That resistance becomes support. That is when the second the 2 comes to 1 and finds support and then goes up. Okay, when the 1 finds supports and it crosses second and then reaches 3. When 3 becomes a resistant, it next follows. It takes the support near the nearest resistance, that is 2, not 1. So when the 3 is found as a resistant, it finds good support at 2. That is how the process goes. And there are lot many patterns you can find. See, this is how higher high and higher low concept is done. So here this is purely an uptrend. Okay, so you can all the blue lines is the resistance converting into support. Okay, and then you have lot many patterns where it is called a continuation pattern or reversal pattern. Reversal pattern is where when the stock keeps going up, you keep seeing that if there is an uptrend, you start seeing the stock coming down. That is when you call reversal pattern. What do you mean by continuation pattern? The stock keeps rising, and then there's a fluctuation found and then keeps on going up. That is called continuation. There are a few patterns you can find it on Google itself. This is one of the picture I've found, like double top, where if you find a resistance, there's a strong resistance, you find double top or triple top or double bottom or triple bottom. That is how where the resistance is found or the support is found. These are the patterns you can see and judge. And there's something called wedge pattern. This is one of the main concept where wedges you can consider like a triangle. If you consider a triangle, it has a peak in the top, right? So the points keep there's something called wedges here or anything where the triangle, the stock keeps going with the edges, and then it has to finally move on to some direction. When the wedge is broken, when the triangle is broken, if it is on a bullish side or a bearish side, if it breaks on the bullish side, you can see the stock keeps going up. When it breaks in the bearish side, it keeps coming down. That is how you find it on the wedge patterns or triangle patterns. So I'll show you how the chart analysis is done by drawing support, resistance, and trend lines. Now I'll show you how to draw a trend line or support or resistance. I'll be showing with there's something called trend line here. You can find it on any platform. So this is how you draw trend line. You draw A and B, that's one end to another end, and I will be drawing support with these triangles and resistance like these. Okay, so if you want to draw a trend line, you have to see all the prices where it is rejected and gone above. That is called support. In when you are drawing a trend line, you have to start finding from, I'll show in a smaller time frame so you can see the wicks too. So okay, if you consider if you consider particular this box, okay, if you consider this, okay, if you consider this, you can find there is a good support here, good support here, good support here, good support here, where people are buying at this moment. So this is how you draw a trend line. This is how you draw a trend line. This is called an uptrend, right? This is called an uptrend. Okay, and I'll show you how the downtrend works. I'm just looking for the good ones for an example. Okay, yeah, I'll show with these three. This one. Okay, this is how you find a downtrend. There is first resistance, second resistance, third resistance, where people are shorting, people are selling here at this moment. So you can find that, okay, there is a good resistance. So how do you decide if the stock comes here? What do you decide? You start selling because this is the line people are trying to follow and selling it. So that is how you draw trend lines. I'll show how support and resistance work. Support is where people are trying to push above. Resistance is what? Resistance is where people are trying to sell. Okay. I should have taken the chats. I should have kept it ready. Okay. Okay, with the Reliance, yeah. If you consider this, just consider this line, this. So you can see there is a lot of support found here. The stock is sent above these lines. So what I'm going to do is I'll start drawing this as my support zone. I'll indicate it as green, and then resistance, I'll mark it as a red color, where people are trying to sell it. See, this is what is going on, right? Here you can see the price is going above, the price is sold here, the price is bought here and gone above. This is the pattern going on. This is called parallel channel. Okay, this is how you draw support and resistance. I'll show you one more how you draw support and resistance. Okay, with Tata Motors, let me go with Tata Motors. Yeah. If you consider these as main points, 1 2 3 4, 1 2, okay, this as my support and resistance, where people start selling at this resistance, people start buying at this place. Okay, people start buying at this place. This is how you start finding that where you have major selling zone and where you have buying zone. Now where do you have to buy is at support level, where do you have to sell is at resistance level. So when you come at this point, you start selling. When you come at this point, you have to start buying. And I did teach that support becomes resistance, right? Support becomes resistance on the last concept. So when you consider this as, usually wicks are considered, but wicks are known as fake outs. So if you consider this as the major resistance, if you consider this as major resistance found for this support and resistance, yeah, I guess you can see here, this is acting as a support and resistance. Once when the stock the trade is given a good bullish candle and crosses or breaks the resistance, it keeps moving on this direction. I told you that when it is fluctuating between two lines, when you can see any pattern, if it goes below, you can keep seeing a good bearish candle. When you see that the candle moves above, you can see a heavy momentum with a good bullish candle. So once you see that, at some point it becomes resistance, right? It becomes resistance. Then you start seeing the stock keeps coming down. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? It stops at previous resistance, the major resistance, that is this point, this points, and then the resistance acts as support. Resistance acts as support here. It acts as support and starts going above. That is how you find the major resistance and support. I'll show you how to draw a wedge pattern. You just have to consider a support and resistance of any point. If you consider this 1, 2, 3, 4 as good resistance and this as a good support, this as a good support here, this as a good support, and this as a good resistance, this is, you can see that it ends up coming as a triangle, right? It comes up like a triangle where you start finding that, okay, there is a good support here, there is a good support. Once you find a good support, okay, I'm sorry, I just went a little on the other side. This is called a wedge pattern, where you find good resistance and support when there is a breakout on the wedge pattern also. Basically, we were finding between two lines, support parallel lines. Now it's on the other side, that is a triangle, where you see that there is a breakout at this candle. There's a breakout at this candle. The last support taken will be a good support, and then what did I say? See, if it goes below, it starts going on the downside, going up. Okay, so if you consider this, when it broke out here, it waits, it makes a fluctuation, and the stocks keep going up. There's a small trick found here. What is a trick found here is the starting, where you start your trend line, where the trend line is started, till then it keeps going without tension. See, what do I mean that by that is, I'll just show you that from this point till this point to this point, there are 40 bars, 40 candles seen, but when you start seeing the bullish candle, you hardly see that there is 13 bars, that is 13 candles. So when it breaks out, it will go till the last resistance, or the way the trend has started. So this is how you start finding a support and resistance, where you see a pattern. So I showed you that there is something called head and shoulders. If you find a neckline, this is called shoulders of a man, and then a head. When it crosses this headline, you start getting a bullish candle. So basically these two are acting as a good support. When the support is broken, you start finding it as a good resistance, where when the support is broken, you can see a heavy momentum and the stock keeps going below. The same happens with double bottom, double top, and the wedges triangle. If it is in a bullish wedge pattern, you keep seeing there's a continuous trend. When you are expecting a reversal, so the trend, the stock would have broken on the support side. When it breaks on the support side, you keep seeing it on the bearish move. See, I just show you the last one and end the video. I guess it's too long. If you consider this as a major support, 1 2 3, and a major resistance like this, you continue the triangle. Okay, when you see that there is a good bearish candle observed, you see that till the tip I told you that here the trend line started. So you don't see any fluctuation till the trend line here, till the trend line where it is started, right? You can see that till here there is no problem. Okay, or you can see that it is pretty quick. So this is how you start finding support and resistance, and then getting to trade. So by using support and resistance, this is how people choose to buy or sell. So I'll keep coming up with new videos. Keep supporting. Thank you so much.